The hell did we just watch?
Dude, that was so weird. Um, okay, beyond weird, let's just call it what it is. It was bad. It was not a good segment. It was so ultimately confusing.
Can we say this for this year? The Netflix debut, we have, it's pretty much TKO board member Dwayne Johnson coming out, extinguishing this program with Cody Rhodes, leaving the door ajar for Roman Reigns. We're all puzzled by what in God's name are we doing here. The next night he's on NXT, for my money, probably the worst segment I can recall The Rock being in. Like just an
Mhm.
aimless segment that was just all he had was the F word. That was all he had in that promo. Like
Yep.
two pretty awful segments. And this was an ultimate swing and a miss that I can I can stand through bad television, bad segments. This one to me is just like this one to me just is just like it just causes like this whole like wherever we're going here, I don't think we're going to be looking back and saying, "Oh, this is what this was this set up all these great ideas and such." Like this to me is I didn't know what the hell was at the end of all of this. Because either you're teasing this match and you're delivering it and rendering whatever this chamber match is pointless, or we're not doing this match, and God only knows why we had to do this segment on this particular night of all nights. I don't know, but it was also 27 minutes of like I can't remember a Rock segment that I'm just looking at the clock and like this is going forever, and he's just repeating the same points over and over and over again
Yeah.
to no
Look,
reactions either. Like this was a pretty like just the crowd went nuts for the Mania announcement, and then this thing just dragged because they couldn't react to anything. They didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what was going on.
yeah, it was a lot of things. We're kind of doing the review before the actual
Oh,
review.
I don't
Should we
know. I'm not even
continue?
making sense because I'm just trying to get it all out of me because I'm still processing whatever this was that I just and dude Cody looked like an idiot here for 27 minutes.
It was a bad segment, and I think ultimately it comes down to Dwayne at this point relying way too much on his celebrity and feeling way too comfortable that just his presence is enough to justify taking him as much airtime as he can. And it's a shame because like last year he was for a lot of us the best character of the entire year, outperformed a lot of people as the final boss character. But since he's come back, this sort of like intertwining between non-final boss and final boss Dwayne has resulted in just like, oh man, something that's just been very ineffective. In the 3 TV appearances that we've seen from him so far. And I think at this point he listen in terms of ratings he's going to have all the justification that he
Oh,
needs.
this show's going to do a big number because of him. I mean, there is like I'm not going to discredit the fact that there is a there's a
But there's a quality control issue that even when you're talking about one of the biggest movie stars in the world, I think somebody needs to put their foot down because it's a bad representation of the
well,
product.
I don't think you have that catalyst that does have that ability, and I think more and more we are watching these segments that it does feel as though
The audience is going to be that judge. The audience is going to be the ones that'll send that message.
well, it was a very odd segment because you had TKO board member Dwayne come out, total babyface. He's high fiving the crowd, making the WrestleMania announcement. Crowd goes wild, and then he shifts to become heel
Yeah.
Rock, literally mid promo.
Yeah.
He shifts to heel final boss character, calling out Cody,
Yeah.
and then it is this just diatribe of it felt like a poor man's Vince McMahon and Steve Austin the night after WrestleMania 14 when Austin first wins the title and Vince is saying that we want you to be a presentable champion. And let's just say if this was the segment that aired the night after WrestleMania 14, I don't think we're having a boom period after WrestleMania 14 in 1998. This felt like Cody Rhodes was in the neutered position that Steve Austin was in after WrestleMania 17. Why you would even want to be dangling back to that would be beyond me. But here is the question for for me to ask you, Wei, is how does this segment play out at Elimination Chamber when Cody has to decide if he is to forfeit his soul or not? He either is going to agree to it or he's not, and that would conceivably either be the stupidest business decision possible to align this guy as the underling, or you're kicking off a feud with The Rock for WrestleMania and just negating everything else that it just comes out completely of left field after you had pretty much extinguished this whole program. And what in God's name we're even fighting for over this?
I can't predict it right now. I can only assume that they have a logical conclusion to whatever this was supposed to be. I mean,
I hope so.
First of all, the question itself is very ambiguous. What does it mean to be, like, what is Cody exactly answering here?
Maybe that's going to be the segment. Maybe he's like, I have a lot of questions, Dwayne. I've gone home for 10 days, and I don't know what you're asking of me.
I'm sure you will get some semblance of that in the response from Cody. Much like the way The Rock responded on that NXT to criticisms of his Monday appearance. Like answering, like, or at least like talking about the crowd, commenting on like his ending of the Cody Rhodes feud, for instance, and also the way that like they ended up turning last year's very confusing segment into the story. They will take whatever criticisms that are coming out of this awful segment that we saw, and they will somehow like loop it back to make sense of it. They will address it. Does not excuse, I think, like the sort of like poor meandering, like aimless, it's just diatribe that we heard from Dwayne. But just kind of speaking back about like what this is supposed to be. I can't tell you for sure, John, because like I don't think they fully understand. I think they probably were thrown a curveball just like all of us. Dwayne.
Are you excited for the follow up to this?
Like Dwayne suddenly wants to be involved, and we have to change our plans to work him in yet again. Am I excited? In a way, yeah, because like there's always some excitement when you're talking about Dwayne Johnson being involved in something. With Vince McMahon out of the picture, this is sort of like the most sort of on the cuff, off the cuff, like type of like what could happen, like based on one man's whims type of like chaos, that we can at least discuss on as part of the WWE product today. If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.